special edition because to the program. I am Jumoke Michaels. And today on the program, we'll be looking at the various demands that Labour is making from the government. And there are quite a few of them. So we'll be reviewing them and looking at them one after the other. Because the theme for the year 2024 May Day event is People First. People First. And I have with me today to discuss an official of the NLC Lagos Council, Comrade Medinat Balogun. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy celebration.
Thank you, and same to you too. You're also a worker.
Kabi, so everyone that is a worker, yes, it has to do. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, and thanks for having me here.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so the NLC President, Comrade Joe Ajero, gave a May Day speech where he said that people should be at the heart of every policy and that without making them the center of government policy, the society suffers adversely. Also, the TUC President, Comrade Festus Osifo, also said that the welfare and interest of the people should be considered first in driving any government policy. And that's why the theme of this year is People First. So looking at what the NLC president and the TUC president have said, that policies should be centered around the people. Let's start with this way. Which of these policies does Labour consider to be anti-people? That's where the people's welfare is at the center of the radar. Where do you think government is lacking primarily?
Yes, thank you. You know, from what the NLC president said yesterday at the May Day symposium, you know, a lot of things have been happening lately. You know, and Labour has been agitating for better welfare for the people, for the masses and the workers too. And like what has been happening, look at the fuel queues now. They have resurfaced again in all over across the country. So it's difficult to commute from one place to the other. And look at the recent announcement of electricity tariff hike. So it's affecting the people more. I don't see where, if there are, maybe they are just negligible. Negligible few that will tell you that they have 20 hours of electricity. And for the past, how many years, maybe 8 or 12 years that the government has been talking about the electricity sector. The Labour has been agitating that they should improve the electricity sector, even service delivery to the consumers. Nothing has really been done. No improvement has been noticed. Nothing significantly has been seen to be done about it. But instead, over the years, we have witnessed increasing tariff hikes. Every time that, I think almost every time they've been increasing the tariff, and it's the masses that suffer, because whether we like it or not, when the tariff is increased, it affects other aspects of the economy. Transport is increased, then industries are closing down because the cost of production increases. And let's not forget that we are also signatories to the WTO, that is World Trade Organization, which makes us open our markets for other goods to come in from the international market. We can't stop them from bringing in their goods. But the fact is that our industries are closing and they can no longer compete favorably because of the cost of production. So each time all these price increases come to play, it affects the cost of production, it affects the living conditions of workers, because most of them, you can no longer, when you pay when you pay the increase, it affects foodstuffs and even the price of fuel too. If we look at it, most of us that are going to work, even if you don't have a car, you have to commute, maybe by public transport, and they increase it. And today now, even finding my way to this station today, our driver went to look for fuel, then even finding my way, if you hear the increase, then even to take Uber, that was not supposed to be more than 1,500, is about 3,000. And it's still from the same salary. There has been no increase in salary. So all those things, it is a chain reaction. So like the tariff increase in electricity, the fuel increase, diesel that we say has reduced to maybe 1,200 or 1,300, it has not really reduced, because even if at 1,300, it's still expensive. It's still expensive. And most of these industries run on diesel or black oil. And each time diesel increases, black oil too increases, then gas too. How much are we buying gas? Some industries too run on gas. So, and all those things, they are causing factory closures. The common man, people are losing their jobs daily. Those in the formal and informal sector, even the common woman on the street selling market, and even those ones too that do their businesses, that are in charge of small scale businesses, it's affecting them.
Yeah.
It's affecting everyone. So that is why we said all those policies are not people oriented. The government has not considered the welfare of the people before they put up those policies. Because if they do that, if they consider the people, they will think first, how will it affect the masses? Is it fair to all concerned? Like when we're in secondary school, they say, I've forgotten this club. They will say, is it one of the 4-way tests? They say, is it fair to all concerned? This policy we are going to put in place, is it fair to the masses? Will it be fair to the masses? I think they should consider that first.
All right. Okay. So we all know that the economy is not friendly at the moment. Things are on the high side, like you've just reiterated. Now, one of Labour's demands is full implementation of minimum wage across board of federal, state, local government, and even the private sector's workers. Now, how well has government gone in implementing this minimum wage? Because we are still talking of the minimum wage that was implemented during President Goodluck. Is it Goodluck Jonathan or President Buhari?
No,
Goodluck Jonathan. So that's a long time already. Things have changed. The economy has not improved and all that. So should we even be talking about that minimum wage? Or what is Labour processing or discussing with the federal government?
Thank you. You see, if we say we should not be talking about minimum wage, how are the people going to survive the hike in all these basic things, basic amenities that we are supposed to be entitled to? We are supposed to enjoy adequate electricity. Even energy is expensive, like the diesel, the fuel that I said.
Even the
and
gas.
Cost of production has increased. Cost of food stuffs. Even, let's not forget the schools too. Then cost of transportation on the same salary. You will agree with me that the 30,000 minimum wage that was agreed some years ago is no longer adequate. It's no longer adequate.
Very inadequate.
So that is why Labour is considering that Labour has demanded that there should be a review of it, because it's long overdue. It's long overdue that they should consider reviewing the minimum wage. Because if government is not thinking of the people and they keep increasing the tariffs, keep increasing prices of fuel, keep increasing prices of diesel, keep increasing prices of gas, even aviation fuel, you can attest to it that people can no longer travel. As most people don't even their personal trips now. Most people can't do it again. So most people that you see traveling by air are those that are going on official trips, because the company owes it a duty to book your flight, or they are going for international programs. But most time, personally, a lot of people have tried to readjust their schedule on how they make such trips, because with the spate of insurgency around the country, so most people, you want to travel to Abuja, they prefer to go by air. But now it's no longer the case. So there is no way we will not consider review of the minimum wage, because there is no way we can meet up with all those costs. Even now, with the way they are increasing it, because they increase the minimum wage, the next thing you see that there is increase in so many other items, and before you know it, it has eroded the value.
But even this 30,000 minimum wage, we're still asking for an increase on. Remember that so many states had not even implemented it. I think it was only Lagos, Rivers, Benin. I know just a few number of states that actually started paying that 30,000 minimum wage. So we are now asking for an increase. Is Labour actually being factual? Are they being honest to think that, I mean, states, federal government, private sector is even another thing entirely? Are they going to actually work on this?
That now takes us to the theme of this
People first.
People first. The fact that some state governments have not been able to pay does not mean that they could not afford it. Some of them are just not sincere. They don't just want to be sincere. Not because they cannot afford to pay it. If we want to be sincere and we want to consider the welfare of our people, that we put our people first and we are not selfish in our interest, all state governments should be able to pay. Because they get their allocations, they get everything, and they also generate money internally. So if they put their citizens and the citizens of the country and those working in their states, if they put them first, they should be able to pay. Not because they are not paying, not because they cannot afford it, but they are not paying because they choose not to pay and because they are not sincere. So that is the way we look at it. And it is obvious. It's not that they cannot pay. All of them are living lavishly. You see the lavish lifestyles and even security, and all. The security too is suffering. And that's why you see we are clamoring again that, okay, like the masses are clamoring that there should be state police. Because of the spate of insurgency. They will still spend money on those ones too. So it's not, the welfare of the people should be paramount. So it's not that they cannot pay. They are not paying because they don't want to pay and because they are not being sincere.
All right, so Labour is staying on their demands.
Yes.
They are not shifting grounds that, but how much is Labour even actually advocating for the new minimum wage?
645 or so.
645,000 naira should be the minimum wage based on how the economy is presently. And that's a far cry from 30,000 naira. It's a far cry. All right, let's see how that goes.
That will help us.
Yeah. So let's move on to another demand from Labour, which is settlement of pension arrears. We see that government is actually lagging behind in settlement of pension arrears. Or anyway, just tell us what the picture is right now and what Labour is demanding in that regard.
Pension arrears, if it's the contributory pension scheme that we are doing now, I think that one has greatly addressed this issue of pension arrears. I think we are talking about the pension of those that have retired for some time ago, because a lot of states, some states have not been paying. Some states have not been paying. You see our pensioners going to demand for their pensions. You see sometimes they protest that their pension arrears have not been paid, which is not good enough because these people are workers. They were once workers. So, and like us. So if we don't start demanding that they should be paid their arrears from the coffers of the state, because the state can afford it, even the federal government. Anywhere we have arrears, they should be paid, because these are monies that should be set aside. It's not that it's just something that just came up impromptu or it's just sudden. It's something that should be set aside for the pensioners, and there is no way they should be deprived their money because they no longer have any source of income. Because sometimes we've had cases whereby some pensioners have reportedly slumped. And they died. So it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It doesn't happen in other countries, and we shouldn't allow it to happen. So that's why the NLC is demanding that the pension arrears should be paid. These people are entitled to their sweat. They are entitled to their pensions, so that they can live quality life even after work.
All right, another one is the creation of state police. I know that insecurity is very, very rampant, not just only in the northern part now. You know, in the southern parts and eastern part of the country, there are issues of insecurity everywhere. And Labour is demanding that create state and local government police, that they'll be better at addressing these issues of insecurity. All right, so please throw more light on that demand.
You know, if we create state police, like as it is now, it's reported that even the police personnel that we have is not adequate. That is not adequate. You hear of maybe an attack in a village, and before the army or the police will get there, the bandits have dispersed and they've committed the havoc they want to commit. They kidnap those they want to kidnap and they go. So that is why NLC is looking at it that when they create state police, at least they are the locally based police, and it's done in other countries. You see metropolitan police and others like that. So, and since they are there, and that means they will complement the efforts of the national police. It's not that they are coming to take their job. They will also complement their efforts. So when they are there, you will see that it will go a long way in addressing this issue of banditry or insurgency in our various states. And a good example is some of the states now, because of this insurgency, there are states that have these local vigilantes. You will see that insurgency in such states is not as high as it used to be before they created those local vigilantes. So they complement each other's efforts. They complement the work of each other. So you will see that maybe when there is an attack like this, Amotekun too, we've had cases of when there is a kidnap, they run after them, and at times they still help to rescue the victims from the kidnappers. So that is why we are looking at it that if they create state police, it will help to complement the efforts of the police, because the police personnel that are available now is not enough. So the state police, and because they are locally based, so they will know those nooks and crannies of the state, of each state, their locality, where they can run to. So, and it will help to also bring down the issues of banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency to the barest minimum.
Would you say you trust state governors enough to be able to, number one, establish the state police, and then number two, not compromise? Because that's so many people's agitation that eventually the governors and state officials will use them as thugs. You know, so that's the argument in some quarters. Do you see or envisage that the governors will be able to manage that sector properly?
I think it's with time. Even now, without the state police, are the governors not, do they not have some units that they use as thugs? They do. They do. It's not because there's no state police. Even if they create the state police and the governors decide not to use them, they can still have their own arm that they want to use. And even now, the governors, they've been having their own, they have their own units. So if they want to hire thugs, they know how to hire the thugs. So I don't want us to dwell on that so much, so it doesn't deprive us the benefits that of having state police in place, because the benefits far outweighs the consequences. Because now we are talking about security of lives here, security of our children. Look at the number of children that have been kidnapped. Look at the Chibok girls for over how many years? Over 10 years now. And how many of them have come back? And a lot of them like that. And the thing is still going on, and nothing is being done. So if we have this, so are we now going to say because we feel that the state governors will monopolize them, or they will hijack them to use them in their own interest, then we should look away from the benefits we will derive if they are created? I think it's a matter of time, and all those things will be addressed when the time comes.
Okay. I like the way you summarized that we should not let the fact that governors can use them as thugs to outweigh the benefits in that exercise. All right. So let's look at the issue of establishment of compressed natural gas conversion centers in all senatorial districts and fixing of the Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries. I know we hear, rather, let me not say I know, we hear that some maintenance works are being done on especially the Port Harcourt refinery. I don't know about the Kaduna refinery, but then give us a holistic picture of what's going on and labor demands in this regard.
You know, concerning the refineries, it has been a long
agitation. In fact, you can just stretch that long.
Long. And it is what every citizen is praying for, that our refineries should start working. Because we believe that once our refineries start working and we refine our own crude oil, that the prices of fuel will come down. And apart from that, it will also affect other aspects, like we have said. Because once there is increase in fuel, it affects other areas. And now we heard that they are refurbishing the refinery, and it is our prayer too that they will do it in good time so that we'll start refining our fuel. Just like the diesel issue now. You know, the diesel was about 1.8 or 2,000 something, but now it's about 1.3, which is still a far cry from what we still expect. But again, we were told that it's because Dangote refinery has started refining, producing diesel. So that was why the thing came down. So that's why we think that by the time the refineries start working, one, it will create more jobs, and two, it will help in bringing down the price of fuel. And it will reduce our, we export crude and import finished products, so which makes it expensive. So we can also export finished product, that is fuel. And we're also going to get other products from, fuel. We can get these petroleum products like gasoline, others that we can get, and the country can make money from it. And it will also help to boost our internally generated revenue. So that's what we hear now, and we are demanding that in no time that it should be fixed, so that it will help us in no small measure in the area of boosting employment and also boosting our economy.
All right, so we heard that one of the reasons we are having this fuel scarcity now is that government is demanding that they sell at a lower rate, and IP-Man is demanding that instead of bringing it down, it should be increased. Do you see government being able to find a way out of this? Because at the end of the day, it's the people that are suffering this scarcity. Government is saying there's fuel. There's no reason for this scarcity we're experiencing now.
Well, in my own take, if there is fuel, if I buy a product, if I buy it for 500 naira, and I'm expected to sell for 600. Maybe the landing cost and everything is 500 naira. I'm expected to sell it for 600. And again, the fact is that, you know, they said they are independent marketers. So what I believe is that for the government, if there is fuel, let all NNPC filling stations be selling at the normal rate. Because that was what we were told before, that the independent marketers, they have the freedom to fix their prices. So if government is saying they should sell at a lower rate, government too, the filling stations, the government filling stations, government should bring out supply fuels, let people be buying at the normal rate from these filling stations. Then in no time, when people don't patronize the independent, yes, of course, they will be forced to bring down their prices, especially when government knows that they got it at lower rate. Because what we see now happening is not that there is no fuel, all of them are hoarding it. That's what they are doing, they are hoarding it. So if they are hoarding it, and again, government can find a way to enforce it by sending, they have the regulatory committees and all of them, they can come out, let them be going out, so that they can enforce it, so that these queues can leave our roads. So government should not just sit back and say, okay, they must sell at this rate and it must happen.
Because so there are actually strategies that government can do to make sure that they
enforce it, or people comply with regulations, or people comply with directives. Because for government to say there is fuel and they should sell at this rate, it means government is sure they can still sell at that rate. So I think government should just send out the agencies in charge to go out and enforce. And those that refuse to comply, they've done it before. They close their filling stations. Then those that are ready to sell, we sell at the normal rates. But you see people going to queue for fuel, even in the midnight, they sleep in filling stations. As early as 5 a.m., some people go out of their houses to go and queue for fuel. So that shouldn't be in a country like ours. Thank you.
All right. So today that's May Day, what are the activities, you know, planned to celebrate this event?
Yes, normally, you know, May Day is a day we look forward to as workers, especially at the NLC, as labor unions. So today we are expected to go to the stadium, we go for march past, we listen to the governor, because that day people look forward to what does the governor have for us, what does the president have for us, and we look forward to people-oriented policies, like we have said, maybe what is the government doing about all the, especially these fueling issues, what are they doing about the electricity issues, what are they doing about all other things that workers are facing. And like the team said, people first. So we are not looking at any other except all those things that are people-oriented, that will favor the masses, that will favor the citizens of the country. So we are looking forward to hearing what they have for us. So, and celebrating as workers, our successes, our challenges, looking at our challenges and the ways that government can address them, because we also have our demands as workers when we meet. So we also table our demands to the governor and even to the president. And we hope that they will be able to address them.
All right, so as a labor official, what will be your message to Nigerians, the people, considering the times that we are in?
Yes, my message is that in whatever we do, like our theme really says, that we should put people first in our communities, wherever we find, even in our organizations, whether as employers or employees, we should put those around us first. Because what is happening in most cases too, sometimes even when government has good policies, sometimes too the people too, they are the problem. So you see that when there's little, like there's just little scarcity, if you hear the prices they are calling, and people were just lamenting, groaning, that it is us, the masses. Okay, those that are hoarding fuel, are they not part of us? They are part of us. So all of them, so all of us belong to the same society. So what I just want to advise that all this, with the labor will keep agitating, and we look up to the government to meet our demands and to find a way to address our concerns. But again, as a people, or as a people that look forward to progress in the country, that we should also be concerned about the welfare of those around us. Even as employers, whether as employees, we should be concerned about the progress of the organization, and we should not be saboteurs.
Okay, before you leave, how strong is labor actually, considering the fact that there are factions, you know, when one stands for an issue, the other one will not support and all that. The level of cohesion that labor enjoys, how strong is it?
Yes, the cohesion is strong, but you know, it's just a misrepresentation of facts that labor is partisan. You know, like there has been issues with the Labour Party lately, but it's not that Labour is partisan, because even during the last election, there was never a time that NLC said her members should vote for a particular candidate. Yes, we only that, okay, Labour Party is for the Labour, whether TUC or NLC, that we own Labour Party. But even at that, we still have people, even within the Labour circle, that you still vote for your candidates. So the fact that NLC is claiming that, okay, that Labour Party belongs to us, does not mean that Labour is partisan, because we have never enforced it or prevailed any group as workers that they must vote for a particular, because we also believe in freedom of association, that you can vote for your party of choice, but again that, okay, this Labour Party belongs to NLC. So that's what we are saying. So it's not that we are partisan. It's not that we are partisan, because there was never a place or any forum that the NLC prevailed or demanded that people must vote for party. We even have people that were members of NLC that became governors under the party APC, like the Kebbi State governor. He was the president of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, and he became the president of the governor of Kebbi State. Yes, we have them like that. We had people that are in the House of Reps that were formerly in Labour Party. Then some of them, they came to APC. Heaven did not fall, but it should not be seen that Labour is partisan. Right. So Labour is not partisan, but it's our party, but we are not partisan. We are not saying people must vote for this party, or that as a member of Labour, as a member of NLC, or like you are working here now, that you must come and vote, that this is our party, you must vote for. No. Okay. So of course we are promoting Labour issues, we are promoting Labour Party, but we are not demanding that people must vote. For when it comes to election, everybody is free to vote for whoever he or she feels like. Yes.
All right. So we've been talking with Comrade Medinat Balogun. She's an official of the NLC Lagos Council. Thank you again for obliging us on this auspicious May Day celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Me. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, so we leave you to enjoy the remaining of the May Day. It's a public holiday for many people across board, so please enjoy the day. And we'll leave you with our next package, which is one of the developmental strides of the Lagos State government under Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So please enjoy that, and then we'll be back for another edition of the program next week. I am Jumoke Michaels. Bye-bye.